Today I'm making Roblox's scariest and most realistic SCP-096. I have been wanting to do this for a long while now, and judging by your votes, you guys have too. So I'm insanely hyped to see how it turns out and how scary I can make it. At the moment, there are tons of SCP-096 games on Roblox, but I genuinely believe that I can make one that's better than all of them, with better mechanics and more realism. So let's jump straight into it. As you can expect, I needed to start off by finding a good SCP-096 model. So I headed over to Sketchfab to find the perfect model. Almost straight away, I found the model that they made for SCP Unity that they had released to the public completely for free. This one is genuinely insane and has some really good animations already, which makes everything a lot easier. So I imported it into Roblox, and of course it was too good to be true, because Roblox did something to the model which made the rig faulty with all the animations. I wasn't going to give up with such a good model so quickly though, so after trying and failing with a few possible fixes, I sent a message to my Discord server to see if anyone else could help. Loads of people gave me suggestions on what to do, but with limited time to create this video I decided it wasn't worth learning a new skill in Blender to fix it, so I gave up. I then headed over to Sketchfab again and found another decent looking SCP-096 model that you guys will be a bit more familiar with, and I imported it into Roblox. It still looks good and also has built-in animations as well, so things were beginning to go smoothly again. I imported some of these animations into Roblox and then received a Discord message from someone in my server. This guy claimed to have fixed it, but I was a bit skeptical, so I imported the model into Roblox and it was perfect. Grim is a legend and even denied the prize Robux that I offered, as he has some successful games already. As you can see when I'm comparing them here, the Unity model is just so much better. I then imported the Unity model's animations. Just take a moment to look at how insane these look. I stored all of the animations in the torso, so they'd be ready for the animation script. That took way too long. Now you might be wondering, why the torso? Well, I tried another spot, but let's just say it didn't exactly work out. In all seriousness though, the model was all ready and set up to begin coding the SCP-096 behavior. Now, the most important feature of this SCP-096 model is obviously the pathfinding, because if it doesn't properly chase after the player, then it might as well just be a pile of bones on the floor. I have lost count of the number of times I've created pathfinding enemy NPCs in Roblox, and it never really gets easier. Luckily, I have a lot more coding experience now than I used to, so I can make the perfect pathfinder script this time. I began working on the functions for the pathfinding script, and got into the flow of things quite quickly. I then created some patrol points, because instead of just sitting down, the SCP will be patrolling between certain points until someone looks at its face. After a long while, I eventually got it to be working perfectly. There were tons of boring bugs and difficult fixes behind the scenes that aren't in this video, just to let you know. As you can see, it is functional but looks a bit goofy without the animations, so I started working on the animation script. Luckily this was relatively simple with only 3 main animations: idle, walking and sprinting. So within no time the animations were spot on, and I even timed them perfectly with his walk speed. It looks insane, doesn't it? I then needed to look for some SCP-096 sounds to use, because the rest of the SCP functionality will need to be timed with the sounds that it makes. Creating new sounds or paying someone to make new sounds would be a bit unnecessary at this point, so I just got some classic sounds off the toolbox which you'll all be familiar with. Here's what they sound like. If this video does really well, then I'll consider creating some more up-to-date sounds, so be sure to like the video if you want to see that. It was now time to work on the rest of the SCP-096 behavior, such as the panicking when looking at its face and figuring out who to kill. This was a very difficult part of the process as I kept running into bugs that didn't make sense. I started off with the panic animation, and this is probably the most exciting part of this SCP because the animation is just so clean. I made a script to play a bunch of the 096 sounds as well as the animation before attacking the player. Just look at this. I then made it so that SCP only starts panicking if you look at its face. This was done by connecting a part to its head bone using a rigid constraint, then constantly checking if the player's mouse is hovered on the head. The SCP will have what I call a target queue functionality. Basically, if multiple players look at its face, they are added to a queue, and then the SCP will kill them one by one until the queue is empty. Implementing this wasn't too difficult. Here is what it would look like with 2 players. Now it was time for a more fun part of this process, which is creating the jump scare. I've done this a couple times before, and my method works by moving the player's camera to a part that's in front of another version of the enemy model, and then playing a jump scare animation on that enemy model. Now, because I've done it before, I didn't want to write all of the code again, so... To be honest, I changed most of the script anyway to make it work how I wanted to. Instead of the player's camera staying still on a part, I made it attached to the head bone of the SCP to make it look better. I then had to play around with some animations to see what looks best as a jump scare. Shy Guy ain't so shy anymore. He's kind of... Jokes aside, here is the animation that I stuck with. Let me know what you think. Now, the SCP-096 is fully functional. So all I need to do now is to tweak things to make it look better and more scary. I uploaded a YouTube short and gained loads of feedback from you guys. The main thing people said was that the running animation looked goofy. And this is slightly out of my control, but I tried to make an improved running animation. Personally, I think it looks even goofier, so I'm going to stick with the original animation for now. I'm sure it will look scarier in a proper game. Someone also said that it was too slow, so I upped its speed from 40 to 60. Good luck getting away from it now. That's all for this video now. If you want to test out the SCP-096, then check out the demo game in the description. Depending on how much you guys like this video, I could turn it into a proper game with some help. Let me know what SCP I should make next in the comments. Bye bye.